everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to part 2 of my middle grade videos. This is middle grades I want to read. And if you missed part 1 where I talk about middle grades I absolutely love, please go give that a watch. I will leave the link in the down bar. It is just me gushing over middle grades for a good long while, so go give that a watch. But today, right now, I'm going to be talking about the middle grade books that I need to read. Now, we're going to start with the books that go with the previous video, just to get them out of the way. We have 2 of them that kind of correlate with the books that I mentioned in the previous video. So we'll start with The Secrets of Winter House, which is the sequel to Winter House, which I talked about in my first video, that I absolutely adored. This is the sequel and I cannot wait to get to it. I cannot wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. It is going to be incredible. And if you guys didn't know, these covers have like windows to them, to the underneath cover. They're incredible. But I know nothing about this sequel, other than we have Elizabeth and Freddie, who are the 2 friends who go to the Winter House Hotel. They go back to the Winter House Hotel to dig deeper into the mystery that they unearthed in the first book. So very excited about that. And it has like bookish puzzles and mysteries in it, and I love it. I cannot wait to get to it this wintry season. Another book that goes with the previous video, of course, is the 5th The Keeper of the Lost Cities book. It is Keeper of the Lost Cities Lodestar. This is by Shannon Messenger. This is just the continuation of one of my favorite middle grade series ever. And I really need to read this one. I really need to read this one. I don't really remember a whole lot from the 4th one because I believe I didn't really love the 4th one a whole lot. It felt to me kind of like a bridge book, which makes sense because it is Keeper of the Lost Cities Never Seen, and it is the middle of the 7 books. I believe there's 7 books, possibly 8 in this series. I'm not sure if it's still going or if it's finished with the 8th one. Not exactly sure. But I've heard from many people who love this series that this one made them cry, so I am so ready for it. I'm so ready to read this incredible series and keep going with it, and I will probably do that very soon. These are also super chunky middle grades. Like this one itself is 676 pages, but these are also such fast reads. I adore them so much. It doesn't even feel like you're reading like a huge book like this. Really, really love them. The Keeper of the Lost Cities series is about Sophie Foster, who finds out one day that she's actually an elf, and she gets swept up into this world of elves and magic and powers and stuff like that. And she also realizes that she's at the middle of this huge mystery because elves shouldn't have grown up in the human world and they don't know who her parents are. So, huge mystery surrounding Sophie, and there was like kidnapping and stuff like that throughout the series. So like, you know, it's a jam-packed, action-filled series that I absolutely love, and I can't wait to get to this one. Alright, so if you watched my part 1, you will know that I started with my Riordan choices because I had 2 and then they led into the imprints, so we're just gonna do the same thing in this one. I also mentioned that in the last one that I wasn't gonna talk about Magnus Chase or the other ones because they are more YA. I believe Magnus Chase is the only one that's a little bit more YA than the rest, other than The Lost Hero and possibly The Trials of Apollo, which I'm going to talk about. But I'm going to talk about them anyways, not Magnus Chase. That one is still going to be left off this list, but I'm going to be talking about The Trials of Apollo and The Kane Chronicles. Now, Trials of Apollo is a 5-book series. The 5th book is coming out in October this year. Editing Jenna just popping in here. I've already read the 1st book of The Trials of Apollo since filming this video. Also, the 5th book, The Tower of Nero, was released this Tuesday, August 6th, which is actually the day that I am editing this. But yeah, it's been released. I've read The Trials of Apollo, so we can pretend that this whole clip is just me saying that I need to read the rest of the Trials of Apollo series and pretend that I uploaded this video sooner than I was intending to. But yes, enjoy the rest. And I cannot wait to have this whole series on my shelves. I have not read it, but I really want to. Follows Apollo, who has been punished by Zeus, and so he wakes up one day in the body of a 16-year-old. I am very excited about it, and I'm looking forward to reading this entire series. And then on that same vein, we have the Kane Chronicles. This is the first one, the Red Pyramid. I know that this is an Egyptian mythology world that Rick Riordan has created, and I do also believe that Percy's part of it. I don't know exactly where it inserts itself into the timeline of the Percy Jackson series, but I know it does somewhere. But it follows Carter Kane and Sadie Kane and their Egyptian mythology quests, I guess, because it's Rick Riordan's brand. But there's 3 of them, and I would love to read them very soon. Alright, so the 2 of the Rick Riordan Presents books I have here are 2 that I'm very excited about. But I really would just like to read them all. All of the ones that are out. And I know there is a Navajo one. I believe it's called Race the Sun. I'm not sure. It's Race the something. I don't know what the last word is. But that one looks really cool, and I would love to pick that one up sometime. There's also The Dragon Pearl, which is like a sci-fi Korean book, part of this imprint. And then there's Sal and Gabby Break the Universe that I have been looking for but can never find the first book in store ever. So in my previous video, I talked about Irish Shot and the Storm Runner. There's also The Dragon Pearl, as I said, Sal and Gabby, as I said, and then this one, Race to the Sun, is a Navajo one. Come on, Jenna, there's another word in there. And then there's a lot of just like the sequels of it. Ooh, and there's a newer one coming out, I believe, or it's already out? No, it's coming out in 2021, January 2021. It's called City of the Plague God by Sarvat Chada, and very exciting because this is inspired by Mesopotamian mythology, which is so cool. And it follows a Muslim boy, teams up with the legendary hero Gilgamesh. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm so excited! Oh, and there's another one coming out in 2021, summer 2021, called The Last Fallen Star. Oh my god, and it's about Korean witches. You guys, this imprint is just incredible. Anyways, I'm gonna not talk about all those other books, but those are all books that are on my TBR. I just don't own them physically. But the 2 that I do own physically that I would love to read, I have Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky. I tried to read this a few months ago, but I just wasn't in the mood for a middle grade like this. And I believe I ended up reading the rest of the Heroes of Olympus series afterwards because I just wanted the Rick Riordan flair instead of what this story was. But I'm still very excited to read this. This is about a boy named Tristan Strong who gets kind of taken away into like an alternate universe. So at the beginning of this book, Tristan has lost his best friend Eddie, so he's grieving. And the month he's going to go spend on his grandparents' farm in Alabama, where he's been sent to heal from this tragedy. And he's dealing with this tragedy and with his like parents' disappointment, specifically his father and his grandfather's disappointment at him losing his like wrestling career. I believe he's a wrestler. One day he wakes up in the middle of the night. A sticky creature shows up in his bedroom and steals the journal that Eddie gave him, which Tristan has not yet read. So he chases the doll through the forest, and a tug-of-war ensues by his grandmother's mysterious and off-limits bottle tree. Tristan accidentally punches the tree, which rips a hole in the sky above Mid-Pass, a volatile place with a burning sea, haunted bone ships, and iron monsters that are hunting the inhabitants of this strange world. So Tristan finds himself in the middle of a battle that has left Black American gods John Henry and Brer Rabbit exhausted. In order to get back home, Tristan and these new allies will need to entice the god Anansi, the Weaver, to come out of hiding and seal the hole in the sky. But bartering with the trickster, Anansi always comes at a price. Can Tristan save the world before he loses more of the things he loves? So, very cool, and I cannot wait to actually dive into this and love it and just adore it. And the next one is the brand new release of Paula Santiago and the River of Tears by Taylor K. Mejia? I really pronounced that wrong. I'm so sorry. Oh, and would you look at that, I'm back again because I've read this already too. I read this actually this last weekend. I just finished it. So you can watch that vlog right up here somewhere if you want to go see my thoughts on it. But yes, I have read this one already. Oh my god, I should have posted this video a long time ago. So, Paula Santiago, Pau, as she goes by in this, and her two best friends, Emma and Dante, they know the rule: stay away from the river. It's all they've heard since a schoolmate of theirs drowned a year ago. Pau is embarrassed to say that she's been told to stay away even longer than that because her mother is constantly warning her about La Llorona, the wailing ghost woman that wanders the banks of the Gila at night. Hating her mother's humiliating superstitions and knowing that she and her friends would never venture into the water, Pau organizes a meetup to test out her new telescope near the Gila, since it's the best stargazing spot. But when Emma never arrives and Pau sees a shadowy figure in the reeds, it seems like maybe her mom was right. So I'm expecting this to be a little bit creepy, a little bit just kind of on your edge kind of vibes, a little bit perfect for Halloween-y type stuff. I'm just really excited about this book, you guys. Alright, so we're gonna divvy away from the Rick Riordan Presents because I've been talking about them for a very long time. And we're gonna talk about some other middle grades. I have 4 more to talk about today that I am excited to get to that I've had on my shelves for a while. So this first one is Wildwood by Colin Malloy and illustrated by Carson Ellis. This book I have heard very little about, but I remember hearing a little bit about it really early on in my book internet days. I haven't heard many good things or many bad things. So I have it on my shelves and I want to read it. And this cover is giving me all the fall vibes. And I'm very excited about that. It is about Prue McKeel. Her brother is abducted by a murder of crows and brought to the impassable wilderness, a dense, tangled forest on the edge of Portland. No one's ever gone in, or at least returned to tell the tale. And so she begins an adventure with her friend Curtis deep into the impassable wilderness to save him. They uncover a secret world in the midst of a violent upheaval, a world full of warring creatures, peaceable mystics, and powerful figures with the darkest intentions. And that is called the Wildwood. So I'm very intrigued by this, and again, it's kind of a chunky middle grade, but it has images throughout, pretty pictures, and it's got beautiful deckled edges. I'm just excited to read this fall for sure. The next one is a book that I picked up because the sequel actually looks really fall, and I was gonna pick up that one, but then I realized it was a sequel. So it is A Place Called Perfect by Helena Duggan. From what I know is that this place, Perfect, everybody needs to wear glasses because everybody in Perfect goes blind. Violet never wanted to move to Perfect. Who wants to live in a town where everyone has to wear glasses to stop them going blind? And who wants to be neat and tidy and perfectly behaved all the time? Violet quickly discovers there's something weird going on in the town. She keeps hearing voices, her mom is acting strange, and her dad has disappeared. When she meets Boy, she realizes that her dad is not the only person to have vanished, and that the mysterious watchers are guarding a perfectly creepy secret. So again, kind of fall vibes, a little bit creepy vibes, but I'm so ready to read this one. The next one is a middle grade that I picked up from a store just because of the cover and the title. It just sounds like the purest story. It is The Unlikely Story of a Pig in the City by Jodi Kendall, and look at that little cover. Look at it, they're so cute. Just anyway, this is about Josie Schilling's too big family that lives in a too small city house, and she feels invisible. But that all changes when her brother brings home a tiny piglet he rescued from a farm. Her name is Hamlet. And the moment Josie holds her, she feels an instant bond. But there's no room for Hamlet in the crowded Schilling household, and whoever heard of keeping a pig in the city? So it's up to Josie to find her forever home. Along the way, she'll learn what it really means to grow bigger when you always felt small. So it just seems like a perfectly incredible read, and I can't wait to get to it. And the last middle grade I'm going to talk about today that I really, really want to read is The Trouble with Shooting Stars by Meg Canistra. All I know is that this is about a girl who sees her two neighbor kids, like the kid neighbors, catching starlight in the middle of the night, and it just sounds incredible. So 12-year-old Luna loves the nighttime more than anything else. It's when no one gives her that look about the half mask that she has to wear while healing from a disfiguring car accident. It's also the perfect time to sit outside and draw what she sees, like the boy and girl from the new family next door is zipping out of the window in a zeppelin and up to the stars. At first, she thinks she's dreaming, but one night the siblings catch her watching. Now Luna spends her nights and adventures with them as they clean full moons, arrange constellations, and catch jars of stardust. She even gets to make a wish on a shooting star they catch. But Luna learns that no wish is strong enough to erase the past, as much as she may hope so. So, again, it just sounds like a super magical, kind of heartbreaking read, and it's so pretty. And this cover is so pretty. I don't know if you can tell, but there's like little gold embossing on it that just is so beautiful. Anyways, that is it, my friends. Those are all the middle grades that I have on my shelves that I would love to read. I really hope you enjoyed watching. Let me know down below 1 or 2 middle grades that you were super excited to read. If any on my list are on your list now, I think they all should be. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, you know, to all that stuff that YouTube tells you to do, because it really helps me out. It really does. Anyways, guys, I will catch you in another video soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.